Imagine this. The founder of the world's largest crypto exchange just got a presidential pardon. A major US-China summit is scheduled in a few days, and we're asking the question, are we heading toward the new Roaring Twenties or a repeat of the Great Depression? If you think Bitcoin is just a wild ride, you're missing the bigger story. What's up, family? It's Coach Masi, and you're locked into the Daily Hodl. This is where we break down all the biggest financial news, Bitcoin insights, and of course, market trends so you can stay informed, you can stay disciplined, and of course, stay ready for opportunity. Let's dive in together right now. So, big breaking news. President Donald Trump has officially pardoned Changpeng Zhao, I think that's how you say it, the convicted founder of Binance, who also previously pleaded guilty. Now let's unpack why this matters for Bitcoin and the broader crypto market, and why it's extremely controversial. First, from a policy perspective, this pardon could signal a shift in the U.S. approach to crypto. For years, enforcement and regulatory uncertainty have weighed on exchanges and institutional adoption. Now, the message seems to be innovation may be allowed to thrive alongside compliance. Second, market implications. Binance is the world's largest crypto exchange. With its founder back in the clear, we could see renewed confidence from institutions considering crypto exposure. This is a potential catalyst for inflows, especially at a time when Bitcoin is battling macro volatility, though I'm not a fan of Binance. Third, the controversy. Critics argue that pardoning a high-profile crypto executive who already pleaded guilty raises serious governance questions, serious regulatory questions. Was this political? Are enforcement priorities shifting? Will it set a precedent for how crypto founders are treated in the US? All of this is being debated heavily across social media right now in news outlets. For Bitcoin investors, here's the takeaway. This is a macro catalyst with a controversial edge. It reinforces the idea that crypto is moving closer to mainstream legitimacy. But it also reminds us that policy and politics can shake markets, sometimes in unpredictable ways. We saw that just a few weeks ago on October 10th. Remember, this is not financial advice, it's for education and awareness only. The goal here is to help you understand the signals and mechanics behind the news so you can stay disciplined, informed, and ready for opportunity. Next up, this is a big one. The White House has officially announced that President Trump will meet with China's President Xi Jinping on October 30th at the APEC summit. Now, this isn't just another diplomatic handshake. This is a high-stakes meeting that could shape the direction of global trade, markets, and yes, even Bitcoin for the rest of the year. It's serious stuff, because one tweet about tariffs not going well with them two, and the whole market shuts down. So here's what's reportedly on the table. Tariffs, like I said, trade, technology. And if talks break down, there's even chatter about 155% tariffs on the Chinese goods. You see, that's not a rumor. That's the potential market shock waiting to happen. So what does this mean for you? If tensions escalate, we enter what's called a risk-off environment. Investors pull money from volatile assets and rush into safe havens like cash, bonds, and gold. That kind of liquidity drain can hit Bitcoin short term, just like we've seen in the past trade war cycles. But, and it's a big if, this meeting ends on a positive note with progress on trading or currency stability, we could see a risk-on reversal. That's when liquidity just flows back into equities and crypto, especially Bitcoin. You see money rotation picks up, and Bitcoin benefits as capital seeks asymmetric returns. This meeting isn't just political theater. It's a macro inflection point. Every major investor, hedge fund, and central bank will be watching this one closely, because what happens in that room on October 30th could ripple through every market chart we watch, from the S&P 500 to Bitcoin's price action. So keep your eyes locked on it. Whether it's tension or a truce, Bitcoin will react, and disciplined investors will be ready either way. But let's rewind for a second. The original Roaring Twenties were electric, innovative, innovation that exploded, cities that were modernized, credit expanded, and the stock market was the new gold rush. People believed the good times would never end. But when the music stopped, the entire system collapsed into the Great Depression. So here's the question. Could history repeat itself? Yes. If we ignore the warnings, if we keep stacking up record debt, inflating speculative bubbles, and pouring capital into hype instead of value, the cracks in the system will widen. We've got unsustainable debt loads, reckless leverage, and a global economy addicted to cheap money. Those are the same ingredients that led to 1929. Only this time, they're turbocharged by technology and globalized finance. But here's the flip side. No. If we learn and adapt, innovation is real. Markets evolve. New asset classes emerge to counterbalance old ones. And this is where Bitcoin comes in. You see, Bitcoin was born from crisis, the ashes of 2008. It's a direct response to the failure of centralized finance. It doesn't rely on banks, bailouts, or political promises. It relies on math, code, and consensus and sentiment. In many ways, Bitcoin is the anti-bubble, the counterbalance to a world addicted to debt and paper money. If the 2020s truly rhyme with the 1920s, Bitcoin might be what gold was back then, a store of value when trust collapses. But here's the reality. If innovation stalls, if liquidity dries up, and if policymakers make the same mistakes again, we risk a modern Great Depression. So for disciplined investors, this isn't about fear. It's about positioning for change. You can't control the cycle, but you can control your exposure. You can choose assets that outlast chaos. And that's where Bitcoin shines, not as a get-rich-quick trade, but as a long-term hedge against a system that's proven it can fail. You see, the last century belonged to credit and speculation. This one might belong to sovereignty and sound money. And we all know that Bitcoin is perfect sound money. You see, right now, Bitcoin just isn't about price movements. It's about context. Every headline, every tweet on X, every 5-minute chart tells one story, but the macro backdrop tells another. Bitcoin lives at the intersection of technology, economics, and psychology. And if you only focus on the chart, you'll miss the movement. Here's what I want you to focus on. 1. Catalysts, policy shifts, presidential pardons, international diplomacy, trade negotiations. They all feed into one question. How much trust does the world have in traditional systems? When that trust erodes, Bitcoin strengthens. So when the government talks stimulus, when central banks print, or when global leaders debate over tariffs and debt, those are the signals. That's where the real market momentum begins. Number 2, signal versus noise. Every market cycle is filled with distractions, rumors, liquidations, influencer hype, and temporary price spikes. But the signal, the core driver, often hides beneath the noise. The Trump pardon isn't just news, it's a signal that regulatory winds are shifting. It shows that crypto isn't going away, it's being absorbed into the global financial conversation. Traders chase candles, investors watch signals. The difference is patience and perspective. Number 3, mindset. Speculation is loud, discipline is quiet. The crowd panics when volatility hits. The disciplined stack sats, learn, and stay ready. Because Bitcoin doesn't reward the loudest, it rewards the most consistent. If you treat Bitcoin like a lottery ticket, you'll end up emotional and reactive. But if you treat it like a strategic hedge against monetary chaos, you'll be calm when everyone else is fearful. And that takes practice, trust me. That's what separates traders from builders, gamblers from hodlers. Bitcoin was designed to reward conviction, not convenience. So when the world gets noisy, slow down, zoom out, and remember what you're really investing in. Freedom, scarcity, and sovereignty. That's the mindset of a true Bitcoiner. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe Trump's pardon and the U.S.-China summit will accelerate Bitcoin's institutional adoption? Or are these just political headlines with little to no impact? Drop your take in the comments. If you found value today, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and share this video with someone who loves Bitcoin news and market strategy just as much as you do. And remember, this is not financial advice. It's for educational purposes only. Well, that's your Daily Hodl. Stay sharp, stay disciplined, and as always, Lead.Pray.Hodl. I'll see you in the next one.